A 4K HD webcam with ultra wide angle? Let's check it out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm checking out this. This is the Wyrestorm Focus 210 4K ultra wide angle webcam, and it is ultra wide angle. It's a 120-degree viewing angle, and the camera itself is really high quality. It's an 8 megapixel CMOS camera, and it gives you 4K UHD or 1080p or 720p, depending on what app you're using and what it can handle. It also has AI auto framing and presenter tracking. I'm going to demonstrate both of those in a minute. 8x digital zoom. As with all digital zooms, you lose image quality as you zoom in. We'll see that too. And dual noise canceling mics, one on each side, super easy to work with. My favorite thing is it actually not only has a physical thing to put over the lens so you know it's closed, but that actually has a tiny little leash so you're not going to lose it. Easy to work with. Now, it has a very typical sort of clamp on it, so if I want to use it with my laptop, I can adjust the angle as desired and then adjust the camera, and now I'm good to go. It is plug and play with Mac and PC, and they have an app called Focus. And the Focus app is pretty important because it really helps you turn on and off the different settings. There's no other way to do that. There's no switches or anything on the unit itself, so it's just really a big lens looking at you. So let me switch over. Actually, I'm going to put this on a tripod, and then I'm going to move around, and you're going to be able to see what it does, and then I'll demo the app. Let's get that going. As you know, I have the webcam on a tripod, and that's what I'm looking at, even though my computer's right here. Now, you saw how it zoomed in automatically, but what if I stand up? What'll it do now? Well, hopefully, there we go. It actually adjusts so that I'm centered here. And if I move to a side, it should center so that I'm in there. And if I do something a little tougher with a window behind me, it can handle that. And if I walk forward, then it's again trying to figure it out. I'm sort of off angle a fair amount at this point. This might be a little better. And then if I sit down again, then you can see I'm like a tiny piece of the frame, but now it's zoomed in. Having done that, let's look at the app itself, because I'm doing all this in the app. You can see that in tracking mode, you have choices. You can do presenter tracking or auto framing, or you can turn it off. If I turn it off, then I can actually do things like zoom in, zoom out. I can adjust the angle. Obviously, that works better if I zoom in. And you can see the image quality does go down a little bit. That's sort of the nature of these digital zooms. So I probably wouldn't use that too often. Let's go back to auto framing, and hopefully, there you go, it'll zoom in again. And then I can also do color adjustments. So if I look at the image and I say, I'd like to have a little bit more saturation there, so I can crank it way up and it's like oversaturated. Or I'm now in a black and white movie, right? Either way. So probably want to just have the default settings, which looks better, and takes a second or two to sort of adjust to all of that, but that's cool. And then there are some support options here, and that's pretty much everything in the app and a demo of the unit itself. So let me jump back on camera. Okay, so I didn't tell you the truth. I actually switched the webcam to put it on my computer, and now you're getting the experience of like if we were on a Zoom call or Skype or Microsoft meetings. And you can see it's really putting in a lot of work trying to figure out where I am, the ratio of things. I think part of that is the AI is a little confused by the background, but this is the perfect example of where I might turn these settings off. I just wanted to give you that example, and you're hearing the microphone on the unit itself. Now, for real, let me switch back to my regular camera. So here we are with the regular camera again and my regular microphone, and you can see it did a really good job. The AI Maybe it needs a little bit of tuning. It's a really tough job to have someone stay perfectly centered with a complex background. The reason that you're not seeing that now is because I don't have an auto zoom feature. It's just a stable, setting, and then it's done. And you can do just that with the webcam too. So I have to say, I'm really impressed. That 120 degrees is a really wide angle. Some people might actually prefer having it be a little narrower angle, but you can accomplish that if you go into manual settings and you just zoom in a little bit. And that will effectively lower your degree of vision, or the camera's field of view, as the case may be. And in terms of the zoom, well, there's no physical zoom going on. There's no lens getting longer or shorter. So a digital zoom is pretty much the par for the course. But most importantly, it does a nice job trying to figure out lighting, and it's really easy to work with. Now, it's a really austere box. I want to tell you, the unit comes, let me just unplug it. I think we're probably done with that portion of it. So the unit comes like this, and then also in the box is a cable, and this is a 1.5 foot USB-C, which is the back of the camera, to USB-A cable, which doesn't do me any good when I have a USB-C computer, so I actually brought my own USB-C to USB-C cable. You don't need that. You could also use an adapter if you prefer, but I really am wondering, at what point do these companies just do USB-C to USB-C and then have the adapter for USB-A? That would be cool. We're not there yet. Maybe we will be soon. But literally that's it. There's no instructions. There's no manual. There's no paperwork in the box at all. The only thing they have is they have a QR code on the front, which works. Though if you want to bring up the documentation on your computer rather than on your phone, then you might find that you're actually doing a Google search. So that's something that I appreciate, their flexibility, and I appreciate that you can have that document be updated easily. But when you open this up, there's nothing about download the app, and that really surprised me. Because I feel like instead of just saying get the manual, they could have two. They could have one for the manual and one to download the software, which you're really gonna want. That really makes a big difference. But honestly, if you're suffering through a crummy old webcam on a built-in computer and you just look bad and you sound bad, this is a huge upgrade. This is a great piece of hardware. And I'm really impressed with the microphones, you heard it, and with the camera. So lots to like here. And dimensions wise, if we don't look at this piece, which I don't think you can take that off, but excluding the little clamp, the unit itself is 140 millimeters by 30 millimeters, which is to say 5.5 inches by 1.2 inches. And obviously that lens is pretty big on the front, but that's what does all the magic for us, right? So it is definitely one to check out if you want to just get that big upgrade on your webcam experience, or more importantly, everyone else wants to get the big update. And of course, as I demonstrated, you can also attach it to something else, or just like leave it on your desk or something, set it up, and then you can use it that way. And it's just a whole different way of looking at things, a whole different angle you can get, and you can move around and it'll follow you around. That's pretty cool. So all we need to do is talk about the price, but before we get to the price, I'm going to ask if you could subscribe to my channel, a click or a tap on my subscribe button, and we're connected. Excellent. This is the Wyrestorm Focus 210 4K ultra wide angle webcam, and it's $159.99 with a current 5% coupon, which drops it down to $151.99 at Amazon.com. That is fairly pricey for a webcam, but it is fairly spot on if you want to have a 4K Ultra HD AI webcam. If you want to have one that you'll never need to replace, this is going to be great for the next 5 or 10 years, that's the one. So that's all I got. I'll hope to catch you in my next video.